What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be sharing this video with you. It's one that I've wanted to do for a while, but I wasn't sure you'd be super interested in. But when I mentioned it on my Instagram stories, so many people weighed in and said, yes, we want to see this video. So today we are going into my full stretching routine that I use to achieve all three of my splits. So center, right, and left side splits. This is the routine that I have been using for years. They are my tried and true favorite exercises and movements to get into my splits. And it's also the routine that I used for years when I was working in a dance studio. I used it in all of my dance classes, all of my tumbling classes to help all of my students get closer to achieving their splits, and they're all around flexibility. And I've seen so many success stories, so many people that said like they just weren't flexible, they just were never gonna be able to get it, never be able to get their splits, achieve their splits by using these movements and like minor modifications to these movements. So I'm super excited to share them with you. One quick disclaimer that I just want to put out there is that if you don't normally stretch and you're really trying to jump forward into achieving your splits and you're trying to do it at a really rapid pace, I wouldn't recommend that. Take your time, ease your body into it, and of course consult with your physician before you make any significant changes to your exercise or stretching regimen, just to make sure that it's suitable for your body and you're doing everything in the most healthy and happy way possible. Thank you to everybody who recommended that I make this video. I always want to be creating content that you guys are interested in. So if there's anything else that you specifically want to see on my channel or my Instagram or my blog, drop it down in a comment below. I'd love to make it for you. And of course, give this video a like if you like it, and subscribe because it really helps my channel. But enough of that, let's get into stretching. First things first, I really believe that you're gonna get so much more benefit from your stretching if you don't go into it like right after you've been sitting or like laying down. Like if you can warm up and just move a little bit, you're gonna see that your stretches significantly improve. They're gonna be so much deeper and they're just gonna be so much more comfortable. So I don't care what you do, whether you're running or you're doing some squat jumps or you know what, you're just like learning some TikTok dances, whatever gets your heart rate up, do that for like 2 minutes and then we'll start our stretching. My downstairs neighbors definitely hate me. Okay, now that we are all warmed up, we can officially start stretching. We're gonna start standing. Might be cutting my head off a little bit right now, but that's okay. We're gonna take a nice wide second, and we're gonna just take a little bend in the knees. This is what we call grand plie. It's just going to start to open up the hips. Your splits come so much from your hips, so we really wanna warm up these hip flexors and start getting them stretched. So if you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can just take your hands on your knees and push them out a little bit. Otherwise, if you want it even further, you can take it all the way down to your elbows and push those knees a little bit wider. Again, you're going to start feeling the stretch right here in your hip flexors. We're going to be holding it for about 35 or so seconds. I like to just kind of keep it a little bit active and mobile. Sometimes I like to just kind of sway back and forth. Again, just getting those hip flexors super warmed up. And now we're gonna take it all the way down to the floor. So we're just gonna take a bend all the way down to the floor. And we want our hips aligned right now. So just all the way down to the floor. Just breathing here, keep on breathing. And then a little modification on this that's really going to help you warm up and stretch is we're gonna push your hips over to the right. So we're still keeping our hands centered, but our hips are over to the right. And you're gonna start to feel this stretch in the back of your leg, and then we're gonna push them over to the left. Same thing, feel that stretch in the back of your leg. All right, we're gonna realign our hips, move our hands over to our right foot, really breathe, try to get your torso over to your thigh, and on the other side as well. Making sure to breathe here. Again, you're gonna feel a stretch in the back of the leg. All right, now we're gonna take our feet together, right next to each other, and we're gonna take a bend all the way down here. It's okay if you can't get your hands flat on the mat. We're gonna do some stretches that will help you get a little bit closer. But really try not to cheat yourself. You don't want to take a bent knee here because you're only cheating yourself. Really try to focus on having a straight leg, even if you can't touch the mat yet. So super, super straight knees, we're breathing. You're gonna feel this stretch right here in the back of those legs. You're gonna feel that same stretch or in the same area when you're doing your splits. All right, and we're gonna take a bend all the way down. Try to get your hands flat on the mat. This is gonna be a little bit of a rest for you. And we're gonna straighten it back up. Try to keep your stomach on your thighs for as long as you can until you get all the way straight. Again, we really want these straight knees. The only person you're cheating yourself is you if you take that bend. Let's do that one more time. Little rest here, flat hands. And when we straighten, try to keep that stomach on your thighs. As long as you can, go a little bit further than you went last time. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna walk our hands out and we're gonna bicycle our feet. Again, really focusing on that stretch in the back of our legs. All right, this is one of my favorite stretches. Most people disagree with me, but I love it. We're gonna take our flat feet, try to get those feet all the way flat on the mat. Again, no bend in our knees, super straight legs. And if you're here and you're not really feeling much of a stretch, try pushing through your shoulders. Try to think of having your hips, your shoulders, and your hands all in alignment. You are really gonna feel the stretch here. This is a really powerful one. All right, one more big deep breath. Push through those shoulders and walk your hands back in. One last little crouch. Let's straighten here. Whew. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Straight knees and relax. All right, let's take some seated stretches. We're gonna take this butterfly stretch. And you wanna try and think about keeping a flat back, really open chest, wide shoulders as we stretch out in our little butterfly stretch. What we wanna try and think about is getting our knees down towards the floor. So we're actually going to take one hand, we're gonna push our knees down to the floor. And again, we're really trying to think about keeping that really proud open chest, flat back as we open up our hips. If you're super, super hunched over, it's just not great form. You're not getting the full benefit of your splits. So again, pushing down one side, you're gonna feel a little bit of a pinch back here between like your glute and your little hip flexor. And then same thing on the other side, opening up those hips. Feel that little pinch, open chest, straight back. Try to get these really nice and wide, like flat knees against the floor. And then we're just gonna take a hunch over. Again, you don't wanna think super, super rounded back and shoulders. You wanna try and think a flat back down towards your feet. So keeping your chest open, looking ahead of you instead of straight down at your toes. You're gonna feel a really, really nice, kind of easy stretch towards your hips. All right, now we're going to rotate. We're gonna take our feet straight in front of us. We're going to point those toes. We're gonna reach up, really reach forward for our feet. Again, our goal is to kind of try and get our chest towards our shins and our knees. You don't want to be pulling up your knees from the floor though. Really try to keep those legs locked to the floor. Again, you're not going to see the benefit that you want if you're bringing your knees up off the floor. All right, and then even if you can't take it super, super far right now, we're going to do another stretch here in a second that is, you know, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but it is going to show you so much almost immediate progress. So we're gonna sit back up. Instead of doing pointed toes, we're gonna do flex toes, super, super flex toes. So much so that your feet are almost raising up off the mat. And then you're gonna reach forward. You wanna try and keep a flat back this time. Instead of hunching over and getting your chest towards your knees, try to think of a flat back. Whew, you are gonna feel a pretty uncomfortable but great satisfying stretch in the back of your calves. I know it's uncomfortable, I know it can be difficult to hold, but the uncomfort is where you're going to be finding your growth and your progress. You're never gonna grow from something that just feels super, super comfortable. Whew. All right, hold it a couple more seconds. And we're gonna go back down to our pointed toes. You should be able to go a little bit further now. I know that I can. Whew. All right, again, knees locked to the floor. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Very well done. All right, we are going to open our legs up to a wide socket position, or like a wide V. So think about your heels going towards the corners of the mat, and we're going to take a reach over to one side. So you shouldn't be coming off of the floor. Really try to keep those hips glued to the floor. You should feel a really nice stretch right along this line here. And over to the other side, hips glued to the floor, keeping those legs nice and long, knees still glued on the floor. Don't be pulling up there either. Feel that long line stretch. These are my favorite stretches out of the entire routine. If I could just do these stretches forever, I'd be thrilled. All right, we're gonna do a simple modification. This time, instead of facing forward, we're gonna face the knee as we reach over. Again, try to keep those hips glued to the floor. You're gonna feel a slightly different stretch, a little bit more in your hip flexors this time. And same thing over to the other side. Hips to the floor, straight legs, breathing. Okay, now is where we're gonna get into some of those little bit more challenging stretches where you're really gonna feel like you're progressing towards your splits. So we are just going to reach forward, even with just where you're comfortable at. If you're just kind of reaching slightly forward, you're gonna really feel your hips opening up, and you're gonna start to feel a little bit of that pinch, a little bit of that stretch, but we're gonna be hanging out here for a minute. So now that you've found a spot where you're kind of comfortable, your hips have kind of started to open up and settle there, we're just going to kind of inchworm your hands a little bit more forward. Again, keeping your hips glued to the floor, straight knees, don't pull your knees up. And we're gonna just inchworm forward a little bit more. Think about keeping that straight back again. We don't want a super hunched back. Breathe here. Again, I know these can be really uncomfortable. This is where people usually start to feel the pain and the burn. Once you feel like you've kind of settled into that new point, again, same thing. We're gonna inchworm forward, and this time I want you to try and take your full stretch as far as you can go. And if you are to the point where you are pretty comfortable all the way down to the floor, there are a couple other modifications you can do just to continue your progress. So if your elbows are all the way down to the floor, I challenge you to try to bring your chest all the way to the floor by opening up those elbows and reaching towards your feet. You're definitely gonna feel the stretch there. Even if you're not at that point, I want you to just be sitting here, holding your stretch in your furthest stretch. You're really gonna be feeling that burn in your hips, but this is really going to be preparing you for all of your splits. And now, when you're ready, you could actually move towards getting your center split. Of course, if you are feeling like you're not there yet, don't push yourself. You will get there, just be consistent. But if you're feeling comfortable, if you can get your chest all the way down to the floor and you're feeling more or less comfortable, at this point is when you can take your center split, where you're actually gonna just push up onto your elbows and then rest there in that center split. And I'm just gonna bring up all the way around. Whew, at the completion of that, I am so proud of you. I know those are not easy, but now our hips are super open. You're hopefully much closer to getting your center split, and we can move on to achieving both of our side splits. So moving on to our side splits, we are going to stand back up, face forward. We're gonna start with our right side, so I'm gonna reach my right foot in front of my left foot, keeping our hips aligned. We're gonna bend all the way down. And again, you're gonna feel a nice stretch here in the back of your leg. A couple modifications on this. You can bend your back knee and pop your front foot. You're gonna feel, again, that intensified stretch here in the back of your leg. I also feel a bit of a stretch in my left glute. And then you can also pop your back foot, bend it back. Again, I just like to kind of move through some of these motions because it just keeps my body really warm, really mobile and active. And now we're going to take this down into our runner's lunge. So our hands are going to be on the inside of the foot. And then we're going to straighten our back leg. And there are going to be a couple variations to this as well. If you feel like you're not really feeling the stretch here, because you should be feeling it in this whole area, in our hip flexors and in the back of our hamstring. If you need it to be a little bit more intense, you can take this all the way down to your elbows. And again, you really want to focus on keeping this back leg straight. You're not going to get the full benefit of your split if you're seeing a bend in that knee. So really try and keep that straight. And we're going to drop our knee. So if you're still up on your hands, we still want to drop that knee. This is almost like a preparatory split. So you can kind of see that really straight line that is being created through our open hips. So you can either sit here, again, propped up on your hands, or if you want a more intense stretch, you can take that all the way down to your knee. We just really want to focus on keeping that beautiful, nice line. And now we're going to push up, and we're going to sit in that same kind of position, but we're going to have our hands on our hips. This is just allowing our full weight to really push down into our hips. Again, opening the hips, preparing them for a split. So we really want to think pushing the hips forward, breathing through this. Okay, so moving on. So we're going to straighten our front leg, and we're going to curl our back leg behind us. So you want to think about kind of getting your heel close to your glute. You don't want it necessarily sitting back here. That's going to put too much strain on your hip. So think about bringing the heel of your back foot up towards your glute as close as you can bring it, and we're just going to hinge forward. So I like to point my front foot, hinge forward, just breathe here. You're going to start to feel a nice stretch here in the back of your front leg. And again, we're just kind of easing our body into going into the splits instead of just jumping straight into it. You can hold this stretch as long as you want to get your body to kind of prepare for those splits. But I'm going to go ahead and move on. So we're going to kind of do the opposite of what we're doing right now. We're going to bend our front leg and straighten our back leg. So we straighten our back leg, bend our front leg. Now this is super important. When you are sitting on this front leg, you don't want it tucked up under you like this. Can you kind of see where I'm like sitting on my foot here? You actually want your foot coming in front of you. So I kind of actually have my right foot is almost like touching my left hip. So it's actually reaching up across my body. This is really going to open up that hip area. You're gonna feel a really nice stretch in the back of your right leg. And then if you want a more intense stretch, you can bring it all the way down. Really thinking about keeping this back leg straight, really challenging yourself to keep this front leg across your body. This is the best stretch to prepare for your splits. This is about as close as your body can get to doing the splits without actually doing your splits. If you feel like you're pretty comfortable here and you're ready for more of a challenge, here's a modification that you can do. You can sit back up, you can bring your back leg towards you, extend your left hand, and pull that back leg towards you. You are really gonna feel a stretch on the front of your left leg. This is definitely a more advanced stretch. It's definitely a little bit uncomfortable, even for somebody like me who's been stretching for years. I definitely still always feel this stretch, but this is a way to really intensify your stretching and just get the most impact out of it. And of course, like I said, take your time here, enjoy it, continue to sink into it, let your weight pull you down towards the floor and open up those hips. And when you're ready, we are going to move towards our splits. So if you're still sitting here, we're going to simply extend that front leg and that back leg, and you're gonna slide down to wherever you're comfortable. So if you're in your full, you are ready and you're sitting in your full split, sit here 30 seconds or so. If you're not quite there yet, like I know many of you aren't, go as low as you can go and then just take it an inch lower. If you're putting your knee down, you're not getting any benefit. You're only cheating yourself. Like I said, these are the uncomfortable stretches, but this is where you're gonna see the most progress and the growth. You wanna think about your weight pulling you down. Don't want any bent knees. That's gonna ruin the point. You have to keep super straight legs. Feel your weight pull you down and just breathe. If you can breathe there for 30 seconds, and just challenge yourself to take it 1 inch lower for 30 more seconds or so. Right now you can see that I'm actually propped up on my back foot. This is the most comfortable for most people. If you can, you want to challenge yourself. Try to almost like be on top of that foot, because that's really going to eliminate a lot of the support from that leg so that you can eventually slide into your split and sit here really comfortably. If you are sitting in your split and you want to start to challenge yourself, there are also a couple modifications that you can do here. You can take this all the way down, which will then really open up your hips, so make sure that you're holding really good form. If you want to take it even further, you can grab that front foot, take this all the way down to your stomach, also a nice alternative. If you've done both those things, you're feeling really comfortable, again, you want that further challenge, you can return to that previous stretch that we were talking about, popping up your back leg and pulling it towards you. So wherever you can sit, whatever the most advanced stretch you can do is, just try to sit there, breathe through it. I usually tell people shoot for 30 to 60 seconds of holding your deepest stretch, and then don't push it any further. You're gonna see progress there tomorrow or when you return to the stretching routine. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's relax. Awesome job. I know that's not easy. We're now gonna just repeat that whole cycle on our left side, because of course you wanna keep things nice and even. So we're gonna return to standing, left foot in front of right foot, hips aligned, hinge all the way down. Take any modification of this stretch that you'd like. Again, you can bend your knee, pop your front foot. You can straighten back out, pop your back foot, sink into it. Just keep it moving, keep your body warm and mobile. And now we're gonna take this to our runner's lunge. So right foot comes back, hands come to the inside of the foot. Again, if you want a deeper stretch, you're welcome to bring it all the way down to your elbows, but we really want to focus on keeping our back leg straight. No bent knees here in our back leg. When you're ready, we're gonna drop that back knee. And again, you can sit here in an extended arm or with a bent elbow, really feeling those hips open up. And then when you are ready, coming up and pushing our weight into our hips, really creating that beautiful straight line between both of our hips, feeling our weight pull us down towards the floor, breathing. Again, this is one of those best stretches to prepare you for your splits. Breathe here. Try not to fall like I'm about to. Now we're gonna move to our floor stretches. We're gonna tuck our back leg, straighten our front leg, hinge forward, trying to get that heel close to your seat. Breathe. You guys already know what's coming. You already survived on the other side. I know you can survive it on this side too. The left side for a lot of people is their tighter side. I know it is for me. So be really exploring the depths of these preparatory stretches is super important. Making sure you're maximizing these stretches is going to make your left split much more comfortable and much deeper. And now we're going to switch that stretch, bending our front knee, straightening our back leg. And again, you can sit here on our extended arms, or you could take it all the way down to your elbows. What we really want to focus on is a nice straight leg in the back. And then here you can see where my foot is actually coming across the front of my body. So again, we want to make sure that we're not sitting on our foot like this, but we have it out across our body. Sink here, breathing. If you're comfortable here, you want to intensify it again, reaching for that back leg, pulling it towards you, really feeling the stretch on the front of the leg here. And take this for as long as you would like. And then when you're ready, we're gonna progress towards our left split. We're gonna straighten that leg here. We're going to push up to our left split. Again, if you're not comfortably in your split yet, really thinking about letting your weight carry you down. No knees to the floor. Really wanna think straight legs. Sink down into your lowest split, wherever that is. For me right now, my left split is my tightest split, and I haven't been stretching as consistently as I need to, so it's not quite where I want it to be, but we're gonna get there. If you are comfortably in your left split and you want something a little bit more challenging, again, you can take it all the way down to your elbows or all the way down to your stomach, wherever you're comfortable, or you can prop that back leg up and pull it towards you. So right now we're gonna try and just sit in your split for a couple more seconds. If you can sit in your deepest stretch for 30 to 60 seconds, you're gonna see so much progress, especially if you can do this stretching routine fairly consistently. All right, let's just breathe. Let's do 10, 9, 8. I know it's hard. 6, 5, sink a little bit further. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Whew. All right, guys, I am so proud of you. I know that that is not easy, but look how much further you've already come just in one stretching session. It's not that much out of your day, and you're gonna see so much progress if you can do this pretty consistently. And there you have it, guys. That's my entire routine that I have used consistently for years to achieve all 3 of my splits. I hope you guys love it. If you have any specific questions about any of the stretches or any of the hold times that we do or any modifications to stretches, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer all of those for you. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you're all staying healthy and well during this crazy season that we are in. Again, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it is super, super helpful to me, and continue to tell me anything that you would like to see from my channel. Go and have a happy and healthy day, friends. Love ya.